Okay, so we were discussing about the driver.findElement function and how it finds the element on the page. You give the criteria that you need to find the element with the ID of the element. It will go forward and find the element with its ID. Okay, if you give that you have to find the element by its name, you can write by.name and you can find it. But what if there is nothing like ID or name? Okay, then using if you use Firebug, you'll see that the object has got no ID or name. For example, a text like this which I just took up. Fine. In that case, we use something known as XPath or CSS selectors. That is the best way. Alright. There's a question being asked on the chat, that is, do we use Firebug for identifiers? For other browsers, see, so I told you, right, you have to use Chrome Inspector and Inspector, you can use that. Right. Firebug is used in Chrome. In Chrome, in Firefox. In Chrome, you have got Chrome Inspector, which you can use. Fine. Now, out here, what is an XPath? Now, this is a very important thing. Many times people they get confused. Look, XPath is like the physical address of the object on the page. For example, the text, this text over here. This is the text on the page, right? So this is the complete page structure, and the complete page structure starts from a tag known as HTML. Fine. So I'll open a notepad and I'll tell you the case of XPath. Fine. Because if you write over here driver.findElement, you get an option by.XPath over here. What is an XPath? XPath can be used, or rather it can be used with any object. Any object on the page has got an XPath. XPath is something which you can say, it is something which is the address of the element on the page. Every house has a house number, right? Similarly, XPath is something like that. It denotes the address of the element on the page. Alright, and there are two types of XPaths. One is known as absolute XPath, or it is also known as complete XPath, or the second XPath is partial XPath. You can identify the object based on complete or absolute XPath or the partial XPath. If you look at your browser, then this is the page, HTML page. Okay, everything starts from the HTML tag. Fine. Suppose I look at this text. This is the text. Okay, this text is inside the page, which is starting from HTML tag. So complete XPath will look something like this. It will start with HTML tag / inside HTML tag there are two tags, head and body. You have to go inside the body tag, because somewhere inside the body tag your element with the tag name h4 having the content, this content is present. Alright, so inside the HTML tag you will write that there is a body tag. Okay, fine. Now inside the body tag you have got a div tag. Okay, so you will write like this, there is a div tag. Inside the div tag, if I expand, there are many div tags. There are 3 div tags and there are many script tags. I am interested in the second div tag, because the second div tag, if I expand, I get my element. Hold on, I'll recheck. Yeah, this element is present inside the second div tag. Okay, this is the h4 element. Alright, so inside the body there was one div tag. Inside this div tag there are multiple div tags. Inside this I have to go inside this second division. So I'll write over here /div2. This means go inside the second division. Inside the second division, you have got
is there any particular reason or anything that you have to pick second div tag?
Because my object is inside the second div tag.
You know how do you know that your object is inside?
I scroll down, right? This is the H4 tag, which is actually inside this division. This one. If I am expanding this division, I am able to see this H4 tag. If I am contracting this is going away.
But you know only you just expand it, but before it is hiding, then.
No, it's pretty simple, right? If I expand or contract this, you are able to see the H4 tag.
Can you expand the other one, please? Okay.
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So fine. So you keep on going like this. Inside this, probably there is a second or third division or something like this, and inside that you'll get some H4 tag. So you can keep on traversing your divisions like this and your page like this till the time you get the tag name in which the element is present. So this will give you the complete XPath. But you don't have to make it manually. There are tools available for that. There is a tool known as FirePath, which comes as an extension on Firebug, which you can install, and this will give you the complete XPath. You don't have to calculate it manually. All you need to do is that you just need to go to Google, make sure you have a Firebug installed, right? And on the top of Firebug, you can install another tool known as FirePath, right? Just type FirePath download. Make sure you do it inside Firefox. Okay, go to the FirePath download page and simply add it to Firefox. Okay, fine. Now, once you have it, you will have the FirePath option over here. Inside it, make sure that generate absolute XPath is clicked. Okay, now if I go to Gmail and I investigate this text, you'll get this XPath. It gives you automatically. Fine. This is the XPath for this text. Or if I type the username field, if you look at the username field, this is the XPath for the username field. So this is what the complete XPath looks like. You can take the complete XPath. For example, I'll take this complete XPath. I'll write over here driver.find element by this XPath, and you write web element text or Gmail text equals to this, and you can print the text. You can write system.out.println Gmail text dot get text. This is a web element. From the web element, get the text. Okay, so when you run this will open up the browser. Fine, and you will see that it will print experience the ease and simplicity of Gmail everywhere you go. So it makes it quite simple. Fine, you can simply extract the text using the XPath. But there's a problem here. The problem is that you should never use these kind of complete XPaths. Okay, can we install FirePath? No, you don't have it. I'll talk about other browsers as well. I'll talk about the other browsers, right? FirePath is only for Mozilla. For other browsers, there are other mechanisms. I'll talk about that. Fine. But firstly, let me talk about this complete XPath. This complete XPath, it should not be used until or unless it becomes very necessary to use it. Although it is very accurate from the base of the document, it directly goes till the element which you need to identify. It is pinpoint. It has got pinpoint accuracy. But the problem is about the maintenance of the code. Every application will change with time. If tomorrow some other tag is added in between, then half of my complete XPaths will go for a toss, and I'll have to go and change the code everywhere. This is the major drawback. That is okay, fine. If your application is stable enough, you know that it's not going to change for next 5 years. Fine, okay, don't change it, right? But if your application is such which can be changed, don't use this XPath. Okay. In that case, or rather in the best of the best cases, we use the partial XPaths. Partial XPaths are something which don't start with the base of the document. For example, in Gmail, if you look at this fire path option, you uncheck the option generate absolute XPath. And now if you look at the username field, hold on. Yeah, if you look at the username field, then you are getting an XPath like this. A partial XPath starts with a double slash. Double slash star. Star means any element on the page. In the bracket ID equals to email, which means that any element on the page whose ID is email, instead of star, you can put the tag name actually. Input. An input tag on the page with the ID email. Or if you look at this page, if you look at the add to Firefox button, fine. For generating absolute XPath, make sure that this is not checked. Right, Garima, you make sure that this is not checked, generate absolute XPath. And then you move your mouse over this add to Firefox button. In FirePath, you will get this absolute, the partial XPath. This one. Okay. Now, if you observe carefully, what it is? It's a link, fine. So what Firebug does is it goes above. It finds that this link has got no ID. Okay. It goes one step above this link. This link is inside this para tag, right? It goes to this para tag, finds that this para tag has also not got any ID. So it moves one step above. Fine. This para tag is inside this division. This division has also not got any ID. Fine. So it goes one step ahead, above, and keeps on going one step above till the time it reaches this division, which has got an ID known as add-on. Okay. So based on that, it makes this XPath. That is, there is a div tag whose ID is add-on. Inside it, there is the second division. Inside it, there is another division, and till that point, it reaches the anchor tag A. I hope you got the point how this XPath is being made. Fine. It keeps on traversing above till the time, fine, it finds an element with ID. From here it goes here, no. From here it goes here, no. Then here, then one step above, then out here. So it finds the ID over here, and then it traverses back to the element and makes the XPath. Okay. So this is how partial XPaths are made. Fine. Why it didn't take the ID add-on summary? Because this is a para tag. The div tag is holding this element. This para tag is a standalone tag. Look at the page structure carefully. No, the understanding of the page structure comes with experience. Okay, this is a standalone tag para. It's not got any tag inside it. You're getting my point? That's why I did not take this ID. This div tag has got the tag anchor inside it. You got it? Right? So this is the advantage. Okay, so FirePath will make your work very, very easy. Okay, you can get your own XPath this way. You can get the partial XPath. Using partial XPath gives you the advantage that even if the application changes tomorrow, there is a less probability. There is a probability, but there is a less probability that your XPath or identification mechanisms used in the code, they will change. Okay, if there is a complete overhaul of the page, all the things in the page they are changed, then obviously the XPath will change, everything will change. But minor changes to the page will not affect this kind of XPath. Alright. I mean, I will take that. I'll take that in the coming classes, right? CSS selectors. Not right now. I'll have to talk about CSS in that case. Alright. But my favorite is XPath. Okay. You simply use it, simply make it whatever you have to do, and it makes your work very easy. CSS selector, it's quite easy. It's not a big deal. Instead of saying slash, you just make it by giving a space. And you cannot write two like this in CSS selector. There are ways out there. Fine. Okay. CSS selector will look something like this. Apart from this two over here, which you cannot write. Okay. I'll talk about that. Fine. As we proceed. Okay. Now, what about other browsers? If you open up Chrome, in Chrome you have got the option of inspecting the element, right? I told you you can say right click on any element, select inspect element. That element will get highlighted in Chrome. This is the element. Now in Chrome you have the option of getting the XPath. You right click over here, you will get the option copy XPath. Okay, you copy the XPath and you can place it over here. So this is how you can get the XPath in Chrome. Only thing is in Chrome it will give you double quotes. You just have to put it inside single quotes. Alright.
So this is much easier.
Pardon?
This is much easier.
This is much easier.
Finding the XPath.
Look, it depends, right? In Firefox also it's easy. You just have to move your mouse over the element. It will give the XPath here. You copy from here and use it. Okay. Now practically I never take my XPath from Firefox or Chrome. I investigate the page source and I make my own customized XPath. Okay, because there are other better ways of making an XPath rather than taking it from IE or Chrome. So that's the most important thing. Okay, that's how you work practically. Because Firefox or Chrome, they might give you a very lengthy XPath at times, and you can make your own customized XPaths as well. I'll talk about those as well in the course. Fine. So this is the simplest way. You can simply get the XPath. Okay, right. Now, for example, Firefox will fail here. If I tell Firefox to get the XPath of this element, it will still get you the complete XPath because there is no element in between the H4 tag and the HTML tag which is having an ID. Okay, so the partial XPath for this text also is retrieved as a complete XPath because there is no element in between which has got an ID. Okay, so it kind of fails over here. So you'll have to make your own customized XPaths, right? Which I'll talk about. Fine. So what I talked about today was using XPaths to identify the elements. Right? You can use the same function by.xpath and put the partial XPath here. It will work. Okay. I talked about complete XPath, partial XPath, IDs, names. If you have a link, you can also identify the link by writing the function driver.find element by the link text. This is another good feature. Fine. You can put the complete link text over here and that link will be extracted out of the page. Or you can write something like this, driver.find element by the partial link text. you can give some partial link text and you can identify the element. For example, on this page, this is the link, right? Can't access your account. So I can put this link text over here. So this link would be extracted. Or if I just give this partial text, then also it will be extracted. Okay. So these things, they will get clear as we proceed with the course. I'll give you exercises to do. Fine. It is not something which you can learn in one day or something, right? It takes time and it takes efforts. All right. It's not something which you can also learn in a class. You have to go back, you have to sit in front of the computer, you have to practice, and obviously I know when you practice it yourself, you will get a lot of doubts and a lot of errors, and you have to be patient and you have to be determined enough to actually overcome those errors, search on Google, and in the end, after a span of 6 to 7 weeks, you will actually feel very comfortable with the tool. Okay, learning this tool is not very difficult, but learning this tool to a level which is actually required in an industry to automate 1,000 test cases, to make a performance enhanced script, okay, to make a script which generates good reports, screenshots, logs, and all everything, right? Learning it to that level, it takes time. Okay, if you have to learn to make a program like this, fine, it's quite simple. Anybody can learn it. Okay, but the practical implementation, right? Go and automate 300 test cases, right? It takes time. It takes time to reach that level. Okay, fine. So guys, what I'll do is I have to stop for today. There's a marriage ceremony which I need to attend, and I'm taking the classes, so they all would be expecting me over there. So I'll cut short half an hour from today's class. I have to go. All right, and fine. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll be back. Just give me 2 minutes.